इधर ग्रुप में शेयर किए?
हाँ ग्रुप में शेयर किए, बाकी लोगों ने देख भी।
भाई ये मैं अभी क्लास के बाद इनको देखता हूँ।
ठीक है। तो अभी क्या अफाद उमर सऊदी अरब में ट्रांसफर हो गया या क्या हुआ?
वो उधर उम्रे के लिए गए हुए थे।
अच्छा, अभी यानी कि ट्रांसफर नहीं हुआ सऊदी अरेबिया? सुना था ना उसकी ट्रांसफर होगी उसी कंपनी में सऊदी अरेबिया में।
नहीं 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 नहीं, वो जस्ट वहां पे ना वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा।
हाँ जी, बाकी आपको बेहतर पता होगा।
नहीं, आज वकार राजा से बात हो रही थी ना, वो मुझे बता रहा था कि इज ट्रांसफर्ड आउट टू सऊदी अरेबिया
अच्छा अच्छा।
with the same company. It's just look
नहीं
like he's now sitting in the region side rather than to be the district and countryside.
हम्म, हाँ जी, वो बस उधर बैठ के वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर रहे हैं।
सही।
हाँ जी, पर लगे हुए हैं। बाकी आप सुनाए कहाँ जॉब कर रहे हैं?
मैं सर जॉब नहीं कर रहा हूँ, द फ्रीलांस नाउ।
ओके।
लेकिन ये है कि पिछले दिनों मैं मारी पेट्रोलियम गया हुआ था, पीटीसी
सही।
में गया हुआ था। अभी फिर मारी पेट्रोलियम में ट्रेनिंग आ रही है, मैकेनिकल लिफ्टिंग की।
अच्छा अच्छा, आप ये ट्रेनिंग वाला काम कर रहे हैं? ट्रेनिंग एंड कंसल्टेंसी?
यस।
गुड है जी, ये तो माशाल्लाह अच्छा काम है।
जॉब मैंने almost 25 year I did a job with Mr. Sambaji in Pakistan and Muscat Oman. And then 10 years I worked with the MOL Pakistan in process safety. उनका प्लांट था मकोट लाची के पास।
हम्म।
I've been over there for 10 years where the 550 ton LPG, then almost 300 million macabre feet methane gas pumping to the Sweet Northern gas, and 25,000 barrel crude oils dispatching to the different refineries.
ग्रेट पाशा साहब, माशाल्लाह ग्रेट का तो बड़ा अच्छा एक्सपोजर हो गया है।
मैंने तो कंस्ट्रक्शन को देखा, प्रोसेस सेफ्टी को देखा, ऑक्यूपेशनल हेल्थ सेफ्टी को देखा, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन डेवलपमेंट को देखा, ट्रेनिंग देखी, ऑडिटिंग देखी है। मतलब कि मोस्ट
हाँ
पार्ट
जी
ऑफ दी एचएससी जो है ना,
जी जी।
उसमें बड़ा रोल रहा है। या आई लर्न ए लॉट करंटली। अभी जैसे आप लोगों से एंगेज हो गए, ये जो OTHM डिप्लोमा पूरा देखें, पूरा डिप्लोमा जो है ये मैंने पढ़ाया है from A to
माशाल्लाह।
Z. So this is the new era of trainings and development of myself as well.
हम्म।
अभी मुझे एक और असाइनमेंट मिली है just to develop the syllabus for the new diploma which has to be approved by the UK accreditation body. So
हम्म।
alhamdulillah, once you are in process to develop the document and the international body is accrediting, this means that you are getting more experience and more confidence.
वेरी ट्रू वेरी ट्रू। तो आप इसमें ये है कि आपने कोई ऑफिस बनाया हुआ है इस्लामाबाद में?
सर हमारा घर ही बड़ा है, इतना बड़ा है कि एक जगह ऑफिस बनाया हो बेसमेंट में। उम्र को पता है हमारे घर का, कई दफा है हमारे घर में।
अच्छा 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 अच्छा, फात भैया है आपके पास, सही।
हमारे घर के नीचे एक बहुत बड़ी बेसमेंट है, 30 बाई
ठीक है।
70। वहीं पे सारा
अच्छा,
सेट। वो
माशाल्लाह।
अक्सर
ये क्या, किस जगह पे रह रहे हैं?
मैं पार्क रोड पे रहता हूँ, टुवर्ड्स तरलाई, जहाँ पे कॉमसर्ट यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं,
जी जी।
इसके पास रहता हूँ।
अच्छा, कमसर यूनिवर्सिटी वाली साइड पे, सही।
रावल डैम से अगर आप आए ना,
हाँ जी
तो पहले चट्टा बख्तावर आता है, उसके आगे फिर
जी
कॉमसर्ट
जी।
यूनिवर्सिटी, फिर आगे तरलाई है। मैं मेन रोड के ऊपर ही रहता हूँ, पार्क रोड के ऊपर।
यार ये तो बड़ी अच्छी बात है, लेकिन ये भी है, फ्रीलांसिंग में भी है। और इसमें आपका माशाल्लाह जितना एक्सपोजर हो गया, तो अभी तो जॉब वाला सिलसिला बनता भी नहीं है। माशाल्लाह आप 10 जा रहे हैं।
वैसे भी मैं जॉब अब करना भी नहीं चाह रहा। आई एम द 64-year-old, ठीक है। एंड ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट आई वेंट थ्रू द ओपन हार्ट सर्जरी इन 2021, तो
ओके।
अब जॉब पे इतना मैं इंटरेस्टेड भी नहीं हूँ। और वैसे ही जब से मैं प्रेसिडेंट यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ा रहा हूँ,
ठीक है।
तो घर पे ही बैठ के कि ठीक है जैसे इंतजाम चलेगा।
हम्म।
आई
नहीं,
लुक
वही
लाइक।
बात है।
चलें
जी
जी,
जी।
आई थिंक लेट्स स्टार्ट। मे बी के पीपल विल बी ज्वाइन ऑटोमेटिकली टू अस, क्योंकि फिर ये
हम्म।
ना कि दूसरे सोचेंगे ये अपनी बातों में लगे होंगे।
चले, कोई इशू नहीं, ठीक है। कर
ठीक है, करते हैं जी। So you are looking this screen.
यस।
Okay, so I'm thankful to all of you peoples, okay, who have started from A to Z, and you bear me. I'm also very glad and pleasure with you peoples. You gave the patience to respond, to listen me, and hopefully we'll be complete this whole OHSM level 7 diploma by tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a last class, and then you people goodbye to each other to prepare your assignments, and it's my pray that you pass and you increase your knowledge, your accreditations, and you get the better job, better livelihood. So again, this is the diploma level 7, 20 credit hours, the same thing. So what is the basically aim? The new unit says advanced research method. Mean to say that you have completed your 5th unit. Now you have to prepare your report, or maybe you have to prepare your some thesis to be submitted, or whatsoever. How you have to have reflect your knowledge which you have earned during the last couple of week. So this is not attached to the this relevant diploma. Maybe you are doing some other university educations, and you need to be conduct some research, or maybe as a HSE personnel in your organizations, you have to have research to improve the HSE, not only the conditions, or maybe the unsafe fact, or maybe some documentation you have to be revised. So this will give you a more guidance. So learner will be able to cover key topics relating to research problem. What is your problem? Then how you can be sort out this problem, where you can get the solutions, conduct the literature review, whatever is available, or you can take this literature as we already gave you the website like ILO, IOSH, NIOSH, ANSI, OSHA, or whoever is that. Then referencing, okay, what's your problem, what type of the solution is available. So you can take the reference from there, you can take the text over there to make a solution of your problem. So you can collect the data. So, but you have to be careful while you're collecting the data. You must be make sure that data is authenticated. It's not cooked data, or maybe it's not a biased data. Okay, you have to make a verification about the data collection and the methodology of that, how you are collecting the data. Then analyze this data. You can make analyzations on the quantitative basis or quantitative methodology, and drawing the conclusion from the analyzed data. So basically, what are your question, what is your problem, and how you can draw the solution for your problem. So this unit will be equip you with the research methodology or the research technique. So by that way, it will not be difficult for you if you have to have analyze any problems. So basically, you need you know how to make a research. So there is a 4 questions aligned over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there is a sub questions. Today will be go for the question number 1, be able to develop research approaches, and then the question number 2, be able to critically review literature relevant to health and safety topic. So first, be able to develop research approaches. So there is a several steps, and it's up to you, okay, which steps you like to be conduct first. So here this is identify the research question. You have to have prepare your question. And now you are experiencing every day Mr. Asif Shirazi is asking some questions with the MCQs, and you have to select the answer of that. So the preparation of the question needs some critical analyzation. What type of the question you want to prepare, and what type of the answer you are expecting from the participant. Reason being, even yesterday, Asif said, okay, please do not make a copy or scanning to each other's questions. You have to read the question carefully and then answer it at your own level. So sometimes you relay the question and just people select the same thing and tick, and maybe there's a 50 answer of the yes. So this clearly shows that either the responding people are reading the question, understanding the question meaning or not. If you are collecting some data which is not understood by the responder, so maybe that data will not be usable for you. So clearly define the problem or question. So if the English is the second language for us, so we have to take the help. We have to get the help maybe from the internet or maybe some other artificial intelligence to rephrase your data, rephrase your question to understand. Yes, the people can understand or not. To clearly define the problem or question you want to be investigate, ensure it's specific, measurable, achieve, relevant, and time bound. So, so that the person who has to be respond, say they accurately answer your question. Second problem is that once you are relaying your questions to be on internet and the website or some other online or the social media, so you never know the person who is giving the answer of your question is from the relevant feed. Maybe he's from the HSE or not, although he has the education with him, although he's assessing your question generally, but he's not relevant to the OHS field, or maybe he's not relating to the environment field. So therefore, this created lacks. The answer given by the responder is really understood by him or not. Review existing literature. So lots of documents are available on the net side, artificial intelligence sites. Okay, there is a books, e-books, journals, vlogs. So then we have to have review. That research should not be biased. So comprehensive review of the existing research to understand what's already known about your topic. For example, you review your existing data and then you identify some gaps. So then you have to search again to fill up that gap. So for that reason, maybe you have to redefine or refine your questions so that you can get the relevant answer for that. So there's the two things, whatever the existing, whatever the missing, and then maybe you have to make a modification of your question to get the relevant answer. So choose the research methodology. So there is a different type of the methodology available depending upon your topic, depending upon your aim of the question, or depending upon the answer which you are looking for. So you can choose any methodology or maybe the combination of that methodology. So some common methodology include the experimental research, surveys, case studies, interview face-to-face, and the observation as well. So sometimes you can utilize the standalone methodology, or you can make a combination of that. Many times you observe few people are sitting on the road, so they are taking the observations. How many vehicle has been passed on, what type of the vehicle has been passed on, what is the load of that. So then on the basis of that, you can say what is the traffic load on that particular road and how you have to solve this problem. Maybe to expand the road, maybe have to stop some heavy traffic on these roads to make the flow of the traffic smoothly. Next is design research instrument. So develop the tools needed to collect the data, such as survey, questionnaire, interview guides, or experimental protocol, but make sure that these tools are valid and reliable. As I told you earlier, for example, you are taking the survey, but survey you floated out on the social media, and you received a 500 answer of that question. So you just be analyze that whether this answer are relevant to your question or not, is fulfilling your purpose or not. Maybe the people who are answering is relevant to your field or not. So this means that you have to analyze the data carefully, and then you can take that data as a authentic data to put on your thesis or the project. Sampling strategy. So determine the appropriate sampling technique based on your search design and population of the interest. So consider factor like the sample size, representativeness, and sampling method. Mean to say that you have a question, you select the sample of your question, and then you select some community. Stratified means you have to have select some community and divide into. Maybe you divide that this is the female and this is the male. Maybe you divide this is the 70-year age, 60-year age, 50-year age, 40-year age, or maybe you divide this is the children and the young. Okay, so you have to have float the sample of your question and then get the answer from there. So then you can say yes, the all group of the community from the 70 to 20. So 5 type of the groups are available, including this male and females, and this was the answer of my question. So this is the technology as well. Then the data collections ensures the consistency and the accuracy in the data collections procedure to maintain the integrity of your finding. Once I believe that my research instruments are valid, integrated, so then I can say the answer of the that sample question is the integrity of that question is quite good and believable. Then you can use the data of that. Again, once we don't know who's responding my question, because we are getting the information virtually. I never know the people. I'm not answering the question face to face. I'm not making the interview of that, but through the WhatsApp group or through the Facebook group or through the X platform, Instagram or whatsoever, I'm getting the answer of that. So sometimes people participate in the survey as a fun. They don't know either what was the question or what is the question and why there are people are looking for this answer of this question. So if you feel that there is a similarity of the answer, so then you can look on the answer quality and quantity, and then maybe you have to reject that answers because people are just only participating as a fun. Data analysis. So analyze the collected data using the appropriate statistical or the qualitative analysis technique. Qualitative analysis technique means to say you have to make your judgment, perception, and experience. So choose method that align with your research design and objectives. Whether your objective suits, you have to be take the qualitative technique, or maybe your objective demands you have to have adopt the quantity based technique. So it depends. Okay, what's your the statistical data which you achieved, how you have to have analyze that. So interpretation of the result. So consider the implications of your finding and how they contribute to the existing body of the knowledge. We received maybe a 500, 1000 answer from the from our question, but that does not serve my purpose. So that does not increase the knowledge. That does not fill the gap of my question. So that will be a useless. So therefore, very carefully interpret the analyzed data to draw conclusion regarding your research question. If it's not fulfilling your requirement, so that data may be a thousand is useless for you. So conclusion and recommendation, finally, once you receive the data, you analyze the data and you find that this is very relevant to my research and this is fulfilled your objective. Finally, you draw the conclusion. Of course, there's a lot of the work already be conducted and available on the net, and still there is a room for the improvement. That's why you are making research on that. So then you can make a recommendation. Yes, this was my research, which is adding some value to the previous research work done by some other people, but still there's a room for improvement. So I recommend if the next person who's coming should be work in this area to improve the knowledge of the next coming generation. So summarize your finding. Okay, what you found. Restart your search question. If the finding is not your as per requirement, maybe you have to make it again research, or maybe you have to change the question and discuss the implication of your result. If you present this information, these results to your approving body, maybe you are the student of some university and this is the final project of your capstones project, and you have to submit it to your university's faculty member, dean, or the professors, and the industrial experts are there. You have to defend your project. So maybe your search was not accepted by the team. So they are asking some more data, or they are suggesting some changes over there, or they are discussing with you that once you implement this data, that is not practical. How you will be implement this research in the real world problem. So then you have to be look on that the implication as well. So documentation and the reporting. So it's very simple. You document all aspects of your search process, including the methodology, data collection, analysis, and the interpretation. Finally, you have to prepare a clear and concise research report, maybe in the Word format, or maybe you can make a presentations to communicate your finding effectively. It depends what is the requirement of the people or the university or the institution where you have to put your report. So maybe they are asking instead to put the report or presentation, so you have to be prepare some project, a physical demo over there on the basis of the finding what you have got it. So this is not hard and fast. Every time you have to prepare the report and present, maybe you have to prepare some other methodology to present your finding as well. It depends what's the requirement of the relevant department or the agency. Finally, or the lastly, it's very essential to maintain ethical standards in research. So ethical standard means to say no plagiarism, including obtaining informed consent. Suppose you are taking some context from any published book or the article, or is a copyright material, or is a intellectual property material. So then you have to get the permissions, maybe the publisher, or maybe the author, or maybe the department. So protecting the participants' confidentiality and ensure the integrity of the research process. So if somebody wants to be prepared, but he wants to get the assure from you, don't use my name. So then we have to protect that persons who are giving you informations or who is participating with you. So keep this highly confidentially, the race, national, religion, or whatsoever, so that the people who are participating with your survey should not be harmed by the community or any other department. So additionally, consider the process biases and limitation that may impact your research finding and address them transparently. So you have the 10 pages of the answer of your questions, but that is the biased. Is some specific community is responding that, or maybe the knowledge they are providing you is limited. You need a further enhancement and refinement of that answers. So these are the implications which you have to be considered. Number one, the research should not be jeopardized by any group or any department or any some religion or the political or some other pressure groups. And second thing is that if there is any limitation, so we have to have explained very clearly. So far, we are discussing about the develop the research approaches. The next question is, formulate a detailed plan for the research project. For example, you have to withdraw down before to start the research, how you have to have present or the lay down the project. For example, you have to prepare the introduction, then the literature review or the research design. Let's go by one. Okay, finally, what will be methodology or the lay down techniques or layout plan, how you will submit your report to the relevant peoples. So first, you have to make an introduction. So similarly, this will be helpful to you while you are preparing your own report for this diploma. To introduce, provide an overview of the research topic and its significance. So then present the research question and hypothesis which you develop. On the basis of that, you got the answer of that. And then the outline the objective and goals of the research. Okay, why you are selecting this type of the topic or the why you have developed this type of the question to be get the answer. So first you have to be introduced. Secondly, the literature review, from where you took this literature, the type of the literature, and the authenticity of that literature, or maybe you got some ethical permissions from that relevant book owner or the publishers or so whatsoever. Conduct a thorough review of the existing literature related to the research topic. So I received a report, you see, so they made a reference on that. So when I checked that, the reference was totally irrelevant. They were talking about some chemical usage, but they were at that reference which they referred. So they on that they were discussing about the agriculture fertilizers chemicals, and here they were talking some other chemicals. So try to be, once you have to make a reference, so that must be relevant to your topic. Otherwise, that will not be benefited for you, even you had made a reference. So identify the key theories, concept, and finding relevant to your study, and highlight the gaps in the literature that your research aims to address. So you can write it down. Okay, yes, I have studied this IOSH report of the 2002 about the development of the OHS management system, but I found this gaps over there. So this means that you are telling them that you've gone through all the details and then you are able to find out the gaps. Then the research design, as we already discussed, design means to say methodology. Specify the research approach, quantitative, qualitative, or maybe it's a mixed method. So most of the time, so people are focusing on the quality-based research. By that way, you can use their perceptions, experience, and the judgment. So if they have to have collect the data, Then they have to analyze the data they collected through the survey or interview or form. Then they have to be compared to the previous data as well. Then on the basis of that, they can draw the conclusion. So that is the quantitative methodology to draw some conclusions. Then the next is to justify the chosen methodology based on the research question and objective. So we'll be discuss on the next case, justify why you adopt this methodology, quantitative, why you did not select the quantitative, why you did not use the mixed one. So you have to be justified that. So describe the sampling strategy and sample size determination. So strategy means you have made an interview. So you divided the community. So you just selected the mixed community peoples. So detailed data collections method, survey, interview, observation. Maybe you have used all three technology. You made a survey, you made a physical interview of the people of your peer-to-peers, and you made a observation as well. I remember when I was teaching in the Directorate of Worker Educations, so then one fellow came in the classrooms. He was a PhD fellow. So he has a bunch of survey form. So almost there was a 40 people sitting over there, and he requested, "Okay, please just take a 10 to 15 minutes and fill this form." So then he explained why he's looking for this survey, what is the objective of that. So then he made an interview to the people as well. So this is the methodology. Outline procedure for the data analysis. How maybe you are using the scientific analysis system. Maybe you are using your experience and judgment. So then the research instrument mean to say the question, interview, guides, whatsoever. So test the instruments to ensure the clarity, reliability, and the validity. So question must be ABC, accurate, brief, and clear. Revised instrument based on the pilot test feedback. For example, the question was too difficult. There was a language barrier. People could not understand the language, maybe the English language. So then you have to be translated or twist the questions methodology. So then you have to make a revision. So data collection. So what was the procedure you adapted to collect the data? As we discussed earlier, question, interview, and the guide. Ensure ethical consideration are followed. Informed consent, confidentiality. Monitor data collections process to maintain quality and consistency. The people who are answering, whether they're educated or not, they are to the relevant field or not, they're understanding the question or not. So data analysis, again, the same qualitative analysis technique. Use software. Interpret the result in relation to the research question and hypothesis. So different type of the, you can say, data, software data is available, or applications are developed right now. So you can choose anyone. So result, present the finding clearly and concisely. Don't be make a 20-page or 30-page report, or maybe don't be make 1 or 2 page. So appropriately. So use table, charts, graphs that state the key findings and discuss unexpected result and their implication. So if you're preparing like this, hopefully you can be moved forward and you can convince the panel of the panelists to approve your report. So then next is the discussion. So interpret the finding in the context of existing literature, discuss the implications, address limitation of the study, then make a conclusion, summarize main findings, and then reiterate the significance of research question and objectives, highlight them. So offer the concluding remarks and insight, then make a reference, and then maybe you have to add some additional document, include any supplementary material such as a research instrument, raw data, or the additional analysis. So by that way, you can formulate a detailed plan for the research project. So step by step, once you follow the steps, so definitely you will be get the uh, answers, and you can table down the information systematically. So next is the timeline and the budget. So for here, the budget, for example, you are in process to get the data, and you have to have used some special software which needs the licenses as well. Or maybe you have to pay some compensation to the participant people. Maybe you have to print some reports. Maybe you have to take some information from the relevant agencies. So estimate the budget required for the conducting research, including expenses for material, participants' compensation, software licenses. Participant compensation mean to say that you are inviting someone and you are offering him to be a travel expense. Maybe you are offering him to be a lunch or dinner to them. So ultimately, there will be a expense incurred by yourself. So timeline, okay, you have to have complete your data maybe within a month or with 6 months or the and years. So if you're the budget constraint, so then maybe the timeline is not meet properly. Again, the ethical considerations. Ensure the research adhere to ethical guidelines and standards. Do not use some such a unethical words in your report. Do not be add some photograph, which is sorts of the prone or like that. So do not be make a starring remarks to the special group of ethnic groups, as anthropology or some religion group or some race, national like that. So obtain necessary approvals from the institution, review board approval before commencing the data collection. So for example, you have to have make this plan and submit to your university or to the department. This is the layout of my plans, how to be prepared this project. So once they approve it, okay, yes, this is right, you can be start your work. Or maybe they ask you to make some changes over there. So then you have to revise the plan. So communication plan, identify the stakeholders and develop a plan for communicating research. Determine the appropriate channel for dissemination of the information, like journal publications, conferences, reports, or you have to defend your project in front of the panel of the university peoples or the industry expert. And consider how to engage with the broader community and potential implication for policies and practices. So once your project is approved and you want to publish it and you want to publish for the public, so if they are using your research for the improvement of the real world problems, and if they have some issues, how they can be reached to you, how you can be making explanation if they are not understanding it properly towards your research. So the second question is be able to be critically review literature relevant to the health and safety topics. So you can find millions of the topics and you can find the literatures over there. But since we are discussing about the OHSM, Occupational Health and Safety Management System, so therefore we are only looking to the funnily or narrowly to the health and safety topic. So by that way, there's a lot of websites where you can get all this information. But keep in mind, maybe it's a copyright system, maybe it's intellectual property system. So before to draw and utilize that information in your report, so maybe you required some special permission. But if it's for the general public information, So then feel free to be use that, but again, that will be plagiarisms. So you have to be revise that wording as well. So this is the structure approach, how to be review the literature, define the scope, what is your scope. So this could range from the workplace safety protocol to public health initiative or environmental regulation. So what is your topic? Workplace safety, maybe your topics environmental regulations or workplace environmental issues. So what is your scope? Define it. Search strategy. So you can get the information, you can utilize the academic database, maybe some universities, research NGOs. So peer-reviewed journals, government reports, and reputable websites. So employ keyword related to your topic to narrow down your research result effectively. So even you are searching on the website, so just precisely, concisely, accurate word must be typed, so you will get the relevant information. Otherwise, the bunch of information you can be received, and then you have to filter it down. That is the time consuming. So therefore, keyword must be relevant to your topic as well. Evaluate the source. So from where you are getting this information, that site is authenticated. Once I talk, yeah, please get your information from IOSH. So the credibility of the IOSH is very well known to each one. So then you are satisfied. Yes, this is from IOSH. Or if I ask, please get this information from hse.gov.uk. So this has the credibility. You say, oh yes, fine. Similarly, OSHA or some others. But if I'm asking some website which is not known to you, so then again, maybe you are taking the effect of that, you have to get this data from there or not. So maybe you are shaky. So consider the authors who wrote this, his credential, his education, publications, venue, so peer review process, and the potential biases. Maybe the author is biased and is specifically discussing only the one portion of the research. I can give you an examples. Nikola Tesla, he was very famous scientist. He belongs to Croatia. But since he belongs to Croatia, at that time there was a Yugoslavia. So remaining peoples like Einstein's and other peoples like Edison, like Marconi, Graham Bell. So these scientists make some, you see, grudge with him. They did not realize he made a 350 inventions. But once he died, so they just refined his research, and then they said, Mr. Edison said, "Oh, I invented this electricity bulb." Mr. Marconi said, "Oh, I invented this radio system." But basically, this work has been done by the Tesla Nikola. So consider the author's credentials, publication venue, peer-reviewed, and the potential bias. Peer-reviewed journals are generally more reliable source of the information because people are making the comment on that compared to blogs or the opinion pieces. Nowadays, you can see vlog and blogs. So instead to be go, vlog means your personal experience, but it was not commented by anyone. So peer-to-peer review mean to say that your colleague or maybe the same community has reviewed your research and they made a comment on that, whether this research is authenticated or not. The next is analyze the content. So once you have gathered the information, relevant literature, critically evaluate each content, looking for the strength and weakness in the research method, data analysis, and conclusion. So, of course, there must be some balance approach. Neither we should go for the strength side, positive side, and neither we should make a negative comment on the weaknesses. So, the report must be balanced. Consider the study's design, sample size, statistical method, and potential conflict of the interest. Whether this research is conflicting with your research or not. If yes, you have to have leave this, or you have to make some justification why it's conflicting to your research. So identify trends and pattern, consider the implications, critique the methodology. So consider factors such as sample size, study duration, we already discussed. Assess the applicability. Determine if the finding can be applied directly or adaptations are necessaries. Adaptation means you have to make some changes. Acknowledge limitations. So recognize any limitations or the bias present in the literature. Provide the recommendation. Suggest area where the additional study could fill gaps in knowledge or improve health and safety outcomes. So once you finalize your studies and you feel confident, yes, this is peer-to-peer viewed as well, and this research is now valid for the real-world problems. You are making a recommendations, so then you have to give this knowledge to the community. So far as today's the lecture is over now. Tomorrow will we start the question number 3 and 3.1, or that will be a last question. Hopefully, by tomorrow we'll be complete this diploma, and I wish all of you people to be success in your futures. If you have any question, so you can ask the question as well. Hello.
Thank you, Mr. Saeed. Meet you, inshallah, to complete the session tomorrow, inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz. Fi Manillah.
बहुत शुक्रिया सईद पाशा साहब, बहुत शुक्रिया। अल्लाह हाफिज़।